Good evening, everyone. I see everyone is ready for an evening of comedy, which we haven't had a lot of. My name is Sally Wren, and I am privileged to be chair of the Diversity Awareness Committee, and we always invite new members. And I would like to begin tonight to honoring all of those who've gone before us and cleared our path, but especially the Duwamish Nation tribe upon whose land we stand. So I'm going to bring our co-chair up, Bill. Thank you so much for again bringing us comedy live.
Well, welcome to the Horizon House Comedy Night. As our Horizon House Merriment group of Barry Eben and John Hamm say, laughter is the best medicine. Tonight we have a great group of comedians to bring you laughter. Our comedy MC of the evening is Richard Snyder, an award-winning film actor, comedian, and filmmaker. He performs in Seattle, New York City, and Los Angeles. He also has a day job. He has put some of you people to sleep as one of Seattle's leading anesthesiologists. He shouldn't put you to sleep tonight. So, welcome to the stage, Richard Snyder.
Oh my God, thank you so much, thank you so much. Can we give a round of applause to Bill and Sally, please? Yes, they're so happy that they invited us to come back here. I have been waiting for this show for months. I'm so excited to be back with you folks. We have a great lineup tonight. You're gonna see 4 comedians. They perform all over Seattle. They open up for national touring headliners. We got Emmett Montgomery here, who has been voted as Seattle's best comedian. Yes, are you guys ready for a great show? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Okay. Horizon House, solid 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10. Really good. But I want to do it again, and I want to go for a 12 out of 10. Let's pretend that Medicare Part G is free, okay? Let's do it. 12 out of 10 applause. Are you guys ready for a great show? Yes. Woo! Ah, fantastic, fantastic. And such a great looking crowd. Oh my God. I love the plaid shirt, very vintage. On a personal note, I'm excited to be here because, mostly because finally I get to be the youngest person in the room. I mean, here, I could be someone's trophy husband. Man, find me outside after the show. It's true. We were here a year ago. I was so happy to be invited back. We had such a good time. And then I started to worry, because I worry. I was like, oh my God, do I write new jokes? That joke I did I do that last time I was here? And then I was like, screw it. None of us are going to remember. Yeah. So we are running a contest tonight for the best audience member. I want to explain how that works, okay? We did it last time. Your own Barry Eben won that. Is he here tonight? Barry, are you here somewhere? Well, I tell you, there's a lot of ways to be the best audience member, and what he did was he just beamed joy at us. It was so beautiful. Now, you don't have to do that. You could laugh. You could chortle. You can giggle. We're not fussy, okay? We will take a fib. And you might be wondering, what will you win? We have curated a gift basket that is specially designed for you folks. And I will preview a few of the items, and I will let you know what the rest of it is at the end. We got large print Sudoku. Reader's Digest. Can you believe it? Reader's Digest. And Metamucil. All right. Now, I ate dinner with your diversity committee, and I thought about moving here. I'm still thinking about moving here. I love this place. Last year I did a tour with Valerie, and we sat down afterwards, and she was like, we have over 70 committees here. And I was like, 70, wow. And she was like, this is a very active community. And I was like, oh, I was looking for an inactive community. I don't have the energy to be with you people, okay? 70 committees? We're not going to have time to sit in my recliner and complain. You know, like Bill said, I am an anesthesiologist, been at it a long time, and it is good to see some patients are here. Oh my God, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I didn't recognize you with your clothes on. How's the hip? You know, and 30 years. So this is what it's like. I mean, I know you guys know that you're experienced in your field, you've mastered it. I'm a master clinician. That's what they call us, master clinician. I go to work and nobody respects age and experience anymore. Am I right? No, the young people, they're like, oh, just last week, okay, they're like, we've got this big, complicated surgery in room 4. Who's going to do the anesthesia? And right away, I'm like, don't worry, everybody, I'll do it. And they're like, oh, Richard, you know we're going to give this case to Kyle. Kyle? You're giving it to Kyle, the 20-something doctor who's been a doctor for like, what, 20 minutes? Kyle, who wears a crop top to work? Ugh, disgusting. What does young Kyle have that I don't have? And they were like, hope. You know, the only people that are respecting, supporting me as I'm growing old are my kids. I've got a couple of kids, they're great. They're in their late 20s. They're always sending me these how-to articles. They just sent me one. How to leave an estate to your children. I showed them the floor plan for the new West Tower here. I'm saying, kids, I'm thinking about moving here. And they're like, Dad, that place looks great. But before you make that deposit, let's do that adventure vacation. You know, you guys are ahead of me. Let's do that adventure vacation, scuba diving with sharks. So I did just finalize my will. Now that, talking to my kids about it, they got so emotional. And I was like, kids, everything is going to be fine. I've still got plenty of time left to burn through your inheritance. I made my daughter my power of attorney, and I know you guys know what that means, but it means that if she declares me mentally incompetent, well, she takes over all of my money. And now I'm afraid of her. She's watching me for the first sign of my decline, okay? Last week, I forgot the Netflix password. She turns to my son and goes, "It's happening." You know, I love the young generation as an older guy. I'm not one of these grouchy baby boomers. I'm not, okay? I look at the young people and I'm like, they're so open-minded, you know, about everything, like pronouns, gender, transitioning. As an old Jewish guy, I am also transitioning into my mother. I used to be a he, they, okay? Now I'm more of a oy vey. I used to see a hot person at the bar, and I'd be like, work it, girl. Now I'm like, get a job. So as a doctor, there's a lot of perks to the medical field, so many, and one you might not know about is the how the white lab coat gives instant respect. Yes, like if I'm at the hospital pharmacy in my lab coat, they're like, oh, come to the front. We know you're busy. If I am at CVS, like this, they're like, oh, come to the front. The hemorrhoid cream is on aisle 4. So I wear my lab coat everywhere. Fancy restaurant, they let me in. Jury duty, they let me out. My dating profile, I'm in the lab coat. And yes, they let me in. During sex. Lab coat. Because when I play doctor, okay, I play doctor. My dirty talk is next level. I say stuff like, we don't take Kaiser here. So all I get on my phone these days is advertisements for anti-aging treatments. I mean, can you believe that? They're all trying to sell me stuff, like hair transplants, testosterone shots, drinking blood of teenagers. I'm here to tell you something. None of this anti-aging stuff works. It's all crap, right? I mean, you can't look young again. I mean, you can look old, or you can look weird. If you pump a bunch of testosterone into me, you are not going to get Timothy Chalamet. All right? Tell you what you are going to get, a jacked Bernie Sanders. Let me be very clear. No one should have to choose between insulin and testosterone. Bernie, 2028. Can we have a round of applause for Bernie Sanders? He's totally one of my heroes. I'm in the same gene pool, by the way. And I'm like, why are we trying to look young? Why are we trying to do that? I mean, who says old can't be hot? Am I right, people? Who says old can't be hot? Yeah. I may not have youth on my side or defined abs, but I tell you what I do have, a 401k. And if that's not hot, I don't know what is. All right, you guys, are you guys ready for your next comedian? You guys, such a fantastic audience. Your next comedian, she plays all over town. She was just voted by Stranger Magazine as one of Seattle's indisputable champions of comedy. Yeah, please give a warm Horizon House round of applause for Emma Schmuckler.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here. How are we doing? Thank you. I'm going to be so honest. I'm just here because they told me there would be air conditioning. It's so hot outside. I was here last year. It is so beautiful here. I am so glad to be back. It is beautiful. And don't they know it? Your security here, wow, it's like Fort Knox. I roll up here, they look at me, and clearly they're like, she is not from around here, which I don't understand because I have the same haircut as half of you, but... So a lot of missed opportunities out there. You guys got to get bugs. Start getting bugs tattooed on your heads, okay? So I could see a centipede right down the center here. It'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. It also, if I walked into this place and I didn't know what it was, I would immediately think Silicon Valley tech cult. You guys are so technologically advanced in this place, and I don't understand that because everybody says older people don't understand technology, and I do sort of get that. My grandma one time, she wanted to send me an article that she saw on her computer, and so she took her camera and she took pictures of her computer. And then she went to Walgreens and got the photos developed. And then in the mail, I received an envelope with 14 pictures of her computer. But not you guys. You guys have soup delivering robots, okay? You guys are I'm in the Jetsons walking around this place. This is incredible here. Let's see, I'm cheating here because I had to write some new jokes because I just was here last year. But it's an interesting time in my life because my partner has just graduated law school. She is studying for the bar exam. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's very cool. And then we're getting married in the fall. So, thank you. It's very exciting because come September, I will be able to say, my wife is a lawyer. And she will be able to say, a stand-up comedian is financially dependent on me. So it's a big time for all of us. We're very, very excited. My partner and I, we've been together 5 years, and we are polyamorous. Don't worry, I'm not really going to talk about it too much. It'll be okay. But if you're not familiar with what that means, it's just like Woodstock every day. No worries. But I recently did start dating someone new, and this person is really into camping. Is anybody in here really into camping? Yeah, a couple. Used to be. Okay, what's the coolest place you went? Somebody can yell something out too. I'm open. Mount Rainier. Did you summit Mount Rainier? No, and that's correct. Nobody should be going up there. Let's not put a question mark where God put a period, okay? If I need to be bringing supplemental oxygen, I am not supposed to be there. It's the depths of the ocean and the tip top of that mountain. Yeah, that is correct. But this person I'm seeing is like really outdoorsy, so last weekend I did go camping. And I bought like new shoes for it. I was like really ready. I don't like camping. I think it's because I was raised poor. I'm like, hey, why would I like build a roof with holes when we have a roof at home? Like, why would I go a place where the water is shut off all the time? I don't understand. You guys are like, that is pretty sad, actually. But no worries. So yeah, I went camping and I started learning a lot about birds when I was camping, because the birds all start their day in a way that I think we should all start our day, which is they sort of just scream their intentions. Because the birds wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning and they're like, I want to have sex. That's the bird. They're ready to mate. That's apparently what they're doing when they're cawing. But yeah, I went camping because I did want to get sort of convene with nature and become one with the river and trees. And also get closer to the hot new person I'm seeing. So that is what I did. I went camping. And thus concludes my camping material, because it's just pretty unnatural for me. But thanks for sticking with me for the new stuff. I did get this head tattoo a couple of years ago. I did mention it. Some of you should get some head tattoos. Does anybody in here have a tattoo? I recently found out somebody had a rump tattoo. That's their words. Yeah, Fran, it was your, sorry to out you. Those who are not familiar, I am not in charge enough to let you show off your rump tattoo to this community of people. But does anybody else have a tattoo? Yeah, what do you have? What's that? It's rough going. Can you make it? I'm still figuring out the answer to that question. But any more tattoos in here? Wow, you guys, we got to get on it. Okay. I've got some stick and poke stuff in my car. Well, anybody meet me in the garage. One of my favorite things, before I'm a comedian, I think that I am a storyteller, and that's one of my favorite things to do. If you're familiar with the Moth podcast, or Moth Radio Hour, I do the Moth often. I love it. I run a storytelling show, so I thought I would end by telling you a bit of a story, if that's all right. I have a theory that there are two types of teenagers. There are the teenagers who have a lot going on at home that they're trying to get away from. And there are the teenagers with finished basements. Yeah, and growing up, I spent a lot of time in my friend Bree's basement. I got drunk for the first time in Bree's basement. I lost my virginity in Bree's basement. And I also got this tattoo face down in the carpet of Bree's basement. That was also the first time I got drunk in Bree's basement. We made those decisions at the same time. But this one particular night in my friend Bree's basement, we were looking through boxes in a different part of the basement because I had a hunch that Bree's dad, Mr. Bob, maybe used to be hot. So we were looking for his yearbooks. So we're digging through boxes, and we didn't find Mr. Bob's old yearbooks. But in an old box labeled college, we found Mr. Bob's old bong. So we don't know if he was hot, but we do know he was cool. Yeah. But immediately I am elated because, oh my God, I'm going to do drugs for the first time tonight. This was so cool. I go to my friends. I'm so excited. But here's the thing. We were teenagers, so we didn't really have any drugs. So obviously, we turned to Google, right? And we're like, cool drugs for teens to smoke. Cool drugs for teens to smoke that you can buy at Walmart. So we got our information, right? And we go and we obtain 1 ounce of dried organic catnip. And then we get it home and we smoke a bowl of this catnip. But you guys, I don't know if you know, an ounce of catnip is a whole lot of catnip. So then we had to figure out what to do with the catnip. But luckily, Bree's mom, Miss Deb, she had 2 cats. Yeah, and cats famously, they love nip. It's in the name. But these 2 cats, their names were Kiara and Liesel. And Kiara was an Abyssinian cat. Is anybody familiar with Abyssinians? Yeah, we got a couple ab heads in the house, okay. The Abyssinians, if you're not familiar, that just means that this cat cost $5,000. And it kind of looks like a European supermodel. And then the other cat was Liesel. And Liesel was a tabby. So she looked like a cat. But, you know, we wanted to get the cats some of this catnip, but, like, the cats couldn't use the bong. Like, they couldn't get their mouths all the way around the thing like we were doing. So we had to think outside of the box, and my friend Carver, and he went to Harvard after this because he is a genius. He goes, what if we pitched a tent in the backyard and we hotboxed the tent in the backyard? That's the closest I've come to camping before this. Yeah. So we go and we hotbox the tent. We bring the cats out there. And, you know, Kiara could not hang. Okay, girlfriend was doing laps around that tent. It was the Indy 500 for her. But Liesel, she was chilled out. Her eyes were glazed over. I think it's because for the first time in her life, she saw something that she had that her sister would never have. And that is inner peace. But I love that story. And I was talking to my friend Siobhan, who was there, and we were chatting about it. And she was like, yeah, that's very funny. That's not how that happened. I was like, what? And she said, yeah, we had weed. We got some weed from Will's mom. You just really wanted to smoke catnip, Emma. So we went along with it. Anyhow, memory is fallible, but I think we take away from experiences what we need to take away from them. And what I took away from that experience is that as excruciating as it is to be a teenager, it truly is awful, there is this unique peace that you never find anywhere else in your life in being surrounded by other people that are just as dumb as you are. Thank you all so much, Horizon House. Give it up for Richard.
That's great. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys, that was Emma Schmuckler. Now your next comedian, you guys haven't seen her before because she wasn't here last year, but she's awesome. I handpicked her to come out here to be with you folks. She performs all over town. She was featured in the Seattle International Comedy Competition. Please give a warm round of applause for Ariel Ehrlich.
I don't think I would ever give a cat drugs. They're already pretty paranoid. Yeah. I have never been here before. This place is amazing. Like the art and like everyone's nice and the food is great and the library and I want to come by like every day after work and be like, what are you doing? Can I have a mint? Yeah, oh my gosh. I have to say, this is the first time I have ever seen like everyone on time for a comedy show. And like mostly sober, not including Fran, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have autism. Anyone else? No, that's okay. If you happen not to know a lot about autism, the only thing you really need to know for our purposes tonight is that I am the best at it. Yeah, I have the kind with powers. Like, do you know what synesthesia is? You guys, you're all like, yeah. Synesthesia. No. Yeah, it's like, well, for like the two people who don't know, which is the comics in the back, you're like, it's when you experience one type of sensation as a different kind of sensation. Like, I can hear sunsets and see farts. Yeah, yeah. Oh, but my best power is I am amazing at standardized tests. Like memorizing just tons of facts and then putting them into little precise ovals with my number 2 pencil. Yes, please. Oh my gosh, I am a standardized test Viking. Yeah, oh man. The craziest standardized test, my favorite one I ever took, I was in high school in Georgia. And I don't know if you've lived in Alabama and Georgia, but they'll just let the Army, come in and do whatever. So they gave us like this huge test that lasted for days. It was like an aptitude test. I'm not really sure, but I didn't want to question it. Because free standardized tests. Oh yeah, so anyway, they tested us for days and they posted the results on the wall, and I was like, I saw mine, I'm like, math, like incredible. Like science, my scores were like off the charts. Social skills and empathy. Low-est. They were like the lowest scores that you could get. I mean, I barely even scored in the range of a mammal. Like, I scored like the Green River Killer if he really knew trigonometry. Yeah, so I was like, I was already having a hard time in high school because, the Georgia public school system back then, they didn't even have a word for autism. Like, they didn't even recognize it. My school file just said, you cursed. Yeah, so I did not need this, like the whole school to know that I'm going to grow up and be a cyber assassin. Yeah, but then the craziest thing, like something happened just to make it all cool again. Like I started getting these phone calls. And it was the Army. They wanted me bad. Like, they're like, you're not like the other girls. If you wanted to, you could drop by the base. We could, pop a couple of MREs, tour a silo. And if, while you're here, you wanted to, invent a new kind of chemical weapon, don't be shy. Yeah, you do you. So great. So great. Yeah, it didn't work out, though. Sometimes I still like to stalk them on Facebook. Yeah. Social stuff is hard. I think it's really hard. I feel good about getting older because I feel like I have finally done like every kind of social interaction there is pretty much. Like, I'm not going to be surprised anymore. I figured it out. Like, I don't have to Google what to do when realtor invites you to dog baptism. I got it. And then like 2 weeks ago, I had like a new kind of social interaction, and I didn't like it. I was at Hereafter, and I was using the restroom, and I went to the one on the end, because that's the lucky one. And I opened the door, because it was not locked, and there was a man in there, like just standing. He wasn't using the restroom. He was fully dressed, nicely dressed, wasn't creepy. He just was standing there, and he looks at me, and he does this. And I'm like, new kind of social interaction. like there are no context cues. He wasn't saying anything. I hadn't come across this in my research at all. I'm like, what, are we buying? Are we selling? Should I have shaved? I didn't know what to do. Yes. So I just kind of, and then I closed the door, and then I ran to the bartender, and I said, there's a man standing in the restroom at the end. What's the protocol? And she said, oh, that's Brandon, he's practicing. And then she goes back to what she's doing, and I'm like, that explanation was woefully incomplete. I can't Google, Brandon needs practice, or public restroom vibing, or hereafter bathroom wormhole. I tried it all. You gotta cast a wide net. But I've been thinking about it, and I feel like I finally understand it. Do you know how, maybe this is what J.K. Rowling is trying to warn us about? Men are gonna use gender fluidity to invade women's safe spaces, and then they're gonna smile pleasantly? Yeah, we don't have to put up with that, do we, ladies? No. I checked the restroom. He's not there. It's good. We're cool. Thank you, guys.
Ariel Ehrlich, first time at the Horizon House. Get up for Ariel. Okay, you guys. The moment you might have been waiting for, I hope you were, because your headliner is here. Emmett Montgomery, he has been named the best comedian in Seattle, not once, not twice, but 3 times by the Seattle Weekly newspaper. Can we give it up for Emmett Montgomery?
Let's celebrate Rich, everybody. Let's give him. Wonderful. Hi, everybody. Hello. This is my second time here. This is amazing. It's so great. Who remembers me from last time? Okay. Who saw me last time but does not remember me? Remember the jokes I did? Because let me tell you, that set killed. So it would be so easy if I just did that again. That would work. Is there anybody who didn't get enough of those same jokes last time? Okay. You're big fans of me. Any requests? Does anybody have any requests? Baseball. You're okay. Yeah. Okay. We can get there. But let's also give it up for Emma and Ariel and us. This is fantastic. I am not autistic, but I am neurodivergent. I am autist-ish, if you will. I have something that now they call twice gifted, but in the 80s, in the Utah school system, which was very progressive, they called it abnormal brain development. Which is really good self-esteem for the kid who was having issues. I have motor skill problems, and there's some social social cues are a little hard, and so I've had to what's called mask. Right, you pretend, because there wasn't. Right now, they find the weird little kids and they celebrate them, which is what you should do to weird little kids, because those are the best little kids, and every little kid is weird, but back then, you were just being normal, and honestly, I don't think normal exists. I think it's a lie you've been fed. But, so eye contact was really important. So eye contact? Is this making you comfortable? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Do people feel more comfortable talking to me now with this eye contact? There we go. Also, I learned how to tie my shoes 2 years ago. And here's the thing I've learned. That's bullshit. Who has laces on their shoes right now? Who had to tie their shoes today? It's a lie. We have not existed in a knot-based economy for hundreds of years. Little kids do not have to tie their shoes to be good, right? And so, but I have learned to kind of celebrate my different. And honestly, it's through these great young people like Emma and Ariel and Rich, you know, who are. I thought that would get a big laugh, Rich, because you are old. You are so old. But I've been trying to like heal myself and even try to enjoy the things that I didn't think for me. And big thing is sports. Who is a fan of sports? I'm not. Put your hands down. The people I love sports, and I never thought they were for me because I was growing up in Utah. The churches all had half basketball courts in them. And church basketball, what happened in those basketball courts was as if not more important than what was happening in the chapel. And for me as a kid who got tall too quickly and has always had too much body than he knew how to move correctly, church basketball to others was, you know, team building where boys became men. But for me, it was just another opportunity for me to disappoint my God. And I didn't think sports were for me. I thought because I was bad at sports, I couldn't enjoy them. I thought because I was bad at sports, I was bad at being a boy. But lately, I've learned that you can enjoy sports and not be good at them. In fact, the people who like sports the most are the worst at sports, right? And so I've been trying to open my heart and try to learn about the thing that people I care about like, and also maybe this is a huge sports town. Did you know we have a cricket league here, that we have a cricket team? The Orcas. So there we go, which is a perfect sense for a cricket team. But this is what I figured out about sports, that there's two types of sports. There's look at me sports and get the ball sports. And look at me sports is where somebody does something that we can probably do too, but they just do it better. And so an example is lifting. A lot of us have lifted stuff before, but have you ever lifted too much for no reason at all? It's pretty impressive. Or jumping. Yeah. People can jump, but I want you to look in your heart and think about, when was the last time you jumped on purpose? I think the greatest accomplishment of civilization is that we don't have to jump to live anymore. I think that's a big deal. Then there's the get the ball sports. And get the ball sports is where there's a ball and somebody does something to it. So like basketball, that's an example, and there's a ball and there's a basket. And your job is to get the ball and put it in the basket. But here's the twist. They never finish the basket. So that ball doesn't stay in the basket. It falls out, and then they have to get the ball again and put it back in the basket, but it doesn't stay in the basket. It's a Sisyphusian meditation on death. It is just fascinating. There's football. I'm talking about real football. I'm talking about the thing that we call football all over the world, but here. Football, we call it soccer. Football is the most honest of all the get the ball sports. There's a ball. There's a feet. The feet do stuff to the ball, and anybody can play it. You don't even have to have feet. There are ways where this ball and teams, it's accessible. It's something that has united the world with football. That's why there's a World Cup. We're like, that is beautiful. We're going to call it soccer. And then we're going to have our own football, which is called football because it's called football because. Like, that's why we just called it football. And that's the one I'm having the hardest time with. Because the guys that used to shove me in lockers, they were the football guys. And none of them are playing football now, and I still have a full head of hair, so I should forgive them. But I tried it once. I Seahawked. Has anybody Seahawked before? Anybody went? You hear about these guys? The Seahawks? I went to a Seahawk once because one of my brother's friends, I'm one of 7 boys, so we're a mid-sized family for Utah. One of my brother's friends gave me a call, one of my brother's best friends, and said, hey, I'm going to be in town, and I want to meet you because I'm a big fan of your mother's work. And I did a cool thing for us. I bought us tickets to the Seahawks. I was like, wow, that's amazing. An obligation to do a thing I never wanted to do. What a kind gift. How thoughtful. But we went. We went to that football game. And I started to get it, right? I'm hanging out there with the boys up on the bleachers, right? And here's the thing. I don't like sports, but I love eating hot dogs and collective screaming. So, you know, there was a lot of that for me to enjoy. And I can get what sports are. Sports are a time that you're like allowed to hate in a harmless way, you know, and you feel joy with 1,000 other people. And I'm like, you know what? This could be part of my life. Am I a sportser now? Am I healed? But then something happened to make me so angry and undo all of that healing. Somebody went on the announcer said, hey, stick around for the halftime show. And I was like, halftime? I've been here for 6 hours. How long is this going to happen to me? Stick around for the halftime show because you're not going to want to miss the corgi races. And that's when my blood started to boil. Do you mean that you've had the infrastructure to race corgis the whole time, and I have been watching football? And you're just going to give me 2 corgi races? A qualifier and a championship? That's not enough. I mean, Mr. Pickles needs to earn that sash, right? I want to see the whole hero's journey. And here's the thing. I'm not even the biggest fan of corgis. I think they're overrated. I think they're the Ugg boots of dogs. I really do. And also, I don't trust them because every corgi I have met has been smiling. I don't know if you read the news. There's not a lot of stuff to smile about, right? But I do sympathize with them because, I mean, the queen did die and their legs did not grow back. So that means that the curse is still active. But, and don't get me wrong, I'd still vote for a corgi over a human mayor. But it should not be a half day of football and just 20 minutes of corgi races. It should be a whole day of corgi races. Nay, a weekend. A corgi, if you will. And just a little football game in the middle for the boys. But I think baseball is what's going to get me. Have you heard about this? This game, baseball? Anybody heard about it? It's the most nuanced of the get the ball sports. Because check this out. They start with the ball. Nobody has to get the ball. The guy is already holding it. And he's standing on the dirt, some dirt, and here's the thing, he doesn't really need the ball. He doesn't want it. But he has a friend across from him that wants the ball. And that guy wants the ball so much that he made his hand bigger, so it'd be easier to get the ball to him. But here's where the problem is. There's a guy standing in front of hand guy that hates the ball. He hates the ball so much that he brought a weapon just in case anybody tried to get the ball near him. And that's where the passion play starts to happen between these three human beings. The one standing on the dirt with the ball, the man with the large hand, and the angry guy with the stick. And that's when it gets interesting. Because dirt guy will try to throw the ball to hand guy. And a lot of times, hand guy gets that ball. And if hand guy gets it enough, stick guy sits down and thinks about his feelings, right? But sometimes stick guy hits that ball. And then he realizes, uh-oh, I have committed a crime. I need to get out of here. Right? And he starts running. And he runs, and then he realizes, uh-oh, I'm running into danger, because here's the thing. Dirt guy, he doesn't want the ball that much. But behind him, there's a bunch of guys. And maybe they don't want the ball. But you know what they do like? They like how much angry guy hates the ball. So they want to grab that ball and touch him with it. They want to touch him with the thing he hates, right? So as soon as he hits that ball, those guys are trying to get that ball and touch him with it. So he runs and he sees those guys and he realizes that there's no out. So he turns 90 degrees and he starts to run. And then he runs enough and then he has to stop and goes, oh no, this is not the solution either. And then he does another 90 degrees. And he realizes there's no way out. And then he turns and you know what he's facing? Exactly where he started. And that is what happens when you act on your anger. You go nowhere. There we go. There we go. Is that what you wanted? That baseball joke? Thank you. Thank you. Let's applaud him for his good choice. Do you have any other requests? Because I'm going a little under. I thought that would about 3 more minutes. So, anything? That's it. That's all I am to you. Just one baseball. We could talk about hockey. Are you? Hockey's in it. Somebody said no actively. No. I'm very excited that we are actually getting a women's hockey team. I think that is, and to be honest, I love the women's sports here. It's pretty amazing. The Storm are great, the Reign are great. But hockey, that's maybe the most badass of all the get the ball sports. Because a bunch of people got together and they get, hey, have you heard of winter? What if we did that where you were not supposed to do it? And check this out. And they're like, well, how could people, wouldn't people slip and fall on that ice? I have a solution. Blade feet. Wouldn't the blade feet puncture the ball? No. We take that ball and we make it very small and flat and hard. So hard that if it hit you in the face, it could kill you. Okay, so what are we going to do about that? Well, we'll put them in armor, except their faces. One guy will have a mask. But what we will do is we will adjust the standards of beauty in Canada so that missing teeth are attractive. Hockey. There's a sport called ultimate. Does anybody know ultimate? Why isn't hockey called ultimate, right? Isn't that kind of rare? Do we know what ultimate, if blade feet, weapons, and death discs does not warrant the name of ultimate, ultimate must be very impressive. Chainsaws. Laser dolphins. Okay, who knows what ultimate is? Let's all say it together. What does ultimate involve? Frisbees, everybody. Frisbees. So there we go. That was more jokes about sports that you liked almost as much as my other jokes about sports. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, you guys, the moment you're all waiting for. Come on up here, fellow comedians. We are about to award the prize, and let me tell you what other goodies are in it. Wait 1 second. We've got stool softener, cough drops, and condoms. I have read articles about these kind of places. I know what goes on here. Okay. She said, we don't need them anymore. True. It's like a showpiece, drape it over the Christmas tree. I don't know what. Anyways, and the winner is, and I don't know, I see your name. Medora gets the prize.
They are Magnum condoms too, so just so everybody knows, like any potential suitors should be able to live up to that.
Well, we want to thank our comedians, but we also are open to any questions that you might want to address to our comedians, if you dare. Why no politics in your comedy?
Why no politics? For me, I'm not good enough, actually, because to do that, you've got to be so good, because it's so easy to get on the wrong side of something, but I don't know what everybody else has.
I wondered if you heard of the professor who was asked by a student, is anyone normal? And his answer was, if you find one, send him and I will cure him.
That's beautiful. Oh my goodness.
You have pegged us all as weirdos, so that definitely is accurate. Yeah.
I used to talk about politics, but now I'm kind of sad because Canada doesn't like us anymore. Yeah, I'm just like, they're not answering my ad in American Mail Order Bride. So I just,
As for my choices, I don't know. I think I like to do political stuff where it is going to ripple and kind of make waves, and you kind of say things that need to be heard. And you are all beautiful people here, and so I don't think I'd have to. I couldn't see what something had to be after having the lovely meal with the committee that brought us here and hearing about the weekly protests you folks do. Who goes out and does that every Friday? That is amazing. And so honestly, talking to some of you folks earlier about Seattle and the things happening here, I feel like you gave me my politics. So I can't feed the chefs,
Talk about politics.
Yeah, actually, that is one of the most controversial things right there. My manager, old manager, my surrogate father, he is a tennis guy. And he says pickleball is where good tennis players go to die. And so I've seen pickleball, and again, it's a stolen name. The real pickleball should be more interesting, right? And names are really important. I think when something is named perfectly, it's beautiful, like skyscraper. That's maybe the best name for anything, right? Because that's what they do. When you were building a skyscraper, there was a chance it was going to be the tallest thing that ever existed. So they were scraping the sky. They were defying the gods, like our Smith Tower, which was the tallest building west of the Mississippi, fourth tallest building in the world when it was built. And then you call something pickleball. No pickles. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah.
I have a question over here. How have you four performed together other nights in clubs, or are you all individual standalone comics?
Yeah, this is one night only. Yeah, this is a unique. We all, I think, have worked together previously and but like we're not a entity, if that's the question. Yeah, maybe we should form an LLC. Could you help us with that, Sally? Yeah.
We started out working together in Liverpool. And then Emmett's girlfriend. Yeah, so just know there's a lot of tension up here. Yeah.
I think one of the beautiful things about stand-up, it is something that you do by yourself, but you can't do it alone, right? And so other places like sketch and improv that kind of have their insular communities, with stand-up, you kind of have sort of this weird chosen family, and you have to work with people, and then but you do resonate and find your communities and gravitate to people who do fun stuff. So I love two of the three people up here very much, and one of them is Bill, and the other one is Fran. So there we go.
Like, BS like that is exactly why we broke up.
Bill, thank you for bringing us comedy night again. And we thank you to each of you, your talents and how you blend and how you've just entertained us right to our toes again. And we're so grateful. Let's hear another big hand and then I'll close. Woo! And tonight, our corner standing, and we invite anyone, it's a public sidewalk at 9th and Seneca every Friday from noon to 1. And so tonight, because it started as Black Lives Matter by some people here who had enough when George Floyd was killed. They said enough and put their foot down and said, we may be old, but we can go stand on the corner and protest. So tonight I want to close with a saying that was written by Jean at the Testimony Hall, Black Lives in Washington, D.C. And it says, let's be clear. We said Black Lives Matter. Only, we never said, only Black Lives Matter. That was the media, not us. The truth we know that all lives matter. We've supported your lives throughout history, and I'm going to add even building our Capitol in Washington, D.C. Now we need your help. Black Lives Matter, for Black lives are in danger. And with that, we think about what we're doing, and I'm so grateful again that some people here, that some are no longer with us, 5 years ago started us standing on the corner, and now we also acknowledge Save Democracy. Thank you again for each of you, and another round for this incredible group and their talents.